Well, guys, Boris Johnson might have grown a spine in relation to Brexit, despite still being a lily-livered tosspot, in my opinion. After letting countless deadlines slip, he actually came out saying no deal is very likely and will be good for the UK, despite it not being what they had intended to go for. Of course, this could all be bluff and bluster, as is usual with Boris Johnson, because we are yet to see him do anything meaningful that he claimed he would before the election victory 1 year ago today. Actually, he has done things I would have expected from the Corbynated chicken if he had won the election, but that is not the topic of this video. With Brexit D-Day finally approaching fast, the EU is all over the place, with leaders divided on who wants what and if they will even accept the deal. You know, the one that the Commission puts to them should there be one agreed by Frost and Barnier, which will be an ultimate sellout of the people of this country. Macron has said, though, that if he doesn't get the same amount of fish in future, then he won't sign the deal, and that gives us no deal by default if Boris sticks to his guns and refuses any extensions, which is by no means guaranteed at this point, though he seems to be sticking to his guns and not going with any extensions and taking us out at the end of the year. But as I've said 100,000 times already, with politicians, anything is possible. Boris Johnson has hardly been the man people voted for this year, let's be honest. So expect a sellout and consider it a bonus if he doesn't sell us out, is the way I would do it. But following on from his statement about leaving on no deal, we had reports that the Navy would actually be patrolling the seas around the UK, which is kind of what you would have expected anyway, given the small boats floating over the channel constantly. But these Navy ships will be there to stop French fishermen plundering our coastline, as they said they would if access was cut off, not to stop the Russians invading, despite what the media might tell you in future, and certainly not to stop small boats. But like I said, reports are suggesting 4 Royal Navy ships will be used to protect the coastline from foreign fishermen taking the piss after Brexit. It's a shame they can't protect the coast against countless illegal immigrants who at this point cost us more than the EU stealing our fish does, because the border fast ferry them over here and we pay for the privilege. On top of that, we already pay the French millions a year it seems to let them cross, so I guess why not pay them once they arrive is what the government and civil service think. It's not their money, so they really don't care. Now, naturally, certain media outlets are going on like Boris Johnson plans to use these Navy ships' armed capabilities by headlining articles such as Brexit, armed Navy boats on standby to protect UK waters in case of no deal. That was pushed out by Sky News, which we will actually take a look at in a moment. But I can tell you now, the Navy will not be opening cannon or machine gun fire when dealing with French fishermen, small migrant boats, or anything for that matter. They will essentially act as a police force detaining criminals until they can be handed over to the police. I feel I should also add that the Navy was being asked to do this even if the UK completes a deal with the EU, so it's not really thanks to no deal as the papers are claiming. Now, we've already dealt with the Sky News bullshit article headline, so we won't bother with that. It says, though, talks are set to end on Sunday, with both sides saying a deal is now very unlikely, and I have to say, that is good news. Armed Royal Navy boats are being prepared to patrol the UK's fishing waters in an apparent final warning shot to Brussels as negotiations enter the final 48 hours. 4 of the 80-metre vessels are on standby to guard British waters from EU fishermen in case no deal is agreed on fishing rights after the Brexit transition period ends on December 31st. The Ministry of Defence, confirming the move, said the deployment of the boats had been agreed as part of planning for the end of the transition period. According to the Times, patrol powers will be beefed up, with Navy officers allowed to board foreign vessels and arrest fishermen if no deal is reached. Fishing has been one of the sticking points in talks, as we know, which are fast approaching the end on Sunday, with both sides saying no deal is likely. Access to each other's waters will end next year, although Brussels has called for the current terms to continue for 12 months, a request that appears to have been rejected, and rightly so. Could you imagine how much of a tip Boris Johnson would look if he actually accepted that deal there? It would be seen as extending the transition in everything but name. Tory MPs have urged Boris Johnson to ensure waters will be protected if talks collapse. They should be protected anyway, let's be honest. Shrewsbury and Atcham MP Daniel Kaczynski tweeted, "In the event of no deal with the EU on Sunday, we must receive absolute guarantee from Boris Johnson that British naval forces will be deployed from January 1st to prevent illegal French fishing in our waters." On Friday, the Prime Minister met Senior Minister Michael Gove, who is responsible for Brexit planning, and other officials to take stock of the government's plans for a no-deal exit, which is likely where he would have been told that the Navy will be used to protect our fishing stocks if necessary, meaning they will have to be sent out there day one, I expect. It goes on, Mr. Johnson said he was hopeful progress could be made on a deal, but I've got to tell you that from where I stand now, it's looking very, very likely that we will go for a solution that I think would be wonderful for the UK, and would be able to do exactly what we want from January, he said. Essentially they're telling the EU to go and fuck itself, and that is exactly what you should be doing. But as I said, there is no hope or chance that Boris Johnson is going to be using the Navy to start shooting at fishing boats or any other boats for that matter. Sky News and the rest of them suggesting that they will is just a bunch of snivelling shitweasels if you ask me. But I will say this is one good thing that Boris Johnson appears to be doing, certainly one of the few. Let's hope tomorrow that all negotiation ends and then we go on no deal, and it's being prepared for from now. It should have been happening from months or years ago at this point.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.